Hi everyone, I'm just going to give a quick little review comparison for the Bulldog, Westside Bulldog squat bar and the Iron Wolf, Artic Wolf squat bar here. Both are 35 millimeters, weigh roughly 65 pounds. I'll weigh them to see their tolerancing on their weights. And one is, of course, stainless steel, the Iron Wolf, and the Westside Bulldog squat bar is steel. It's zinc plated. The sleeves on the Iron Wolf are either chrome or zinc. I think they're zinc, like a clear zinc. And of course the Bulldog has the black zinc shaft and the zinc, clear zinc sleeves on here. We'll get a look at the end cap construction here. Now the Iron Wolf was a company that's now out of business, or excuse me, stopped making barbells. They used to make barbells for York barbell back in the pre-90s or so. They stopped making it around the early 90s when York moved all their production offshores. So the construction of the Iron Wolf bar is similar to the York bars of old. They have the donut end with the roll pinned through the center, so the split sleeve per se on there. And the Texas Bulldog squat bar here has their dual roll pin through the shaft of the bar. So I'll get the end on here now. The sleeve of the Texas, or collar of the Texas, is a lot thicker, and the Iron Wolf has their branding. Iron Wolf on the one side, and you rotate it. It has that. It's made in the USA, so little USA looks like it's engraved on there. Come back, you can see the insignia on the Texas. It's a little different from the other end. It says the Westside Bulldog squat bar with the Texas buddy caps or whatever, 1980. So those are the sleeves of it. Okay, let's start out with some measurements of the bar. It appears the Texas is a little bit longer, so I measured it out. Texas is 103.5 inches. And hit the Iron Wolf here. Iron Wolf is 100.5 inches. Sleeve lengths here, total sleeve length with the collar is a hair over 22 inches, while the Bulldog is 23. So loadable sleeve length is, if you extend out past the donut, I mean, you have about 20 3/8, but with the donut, I mean, it's 19 3/4. I don't know if you want plates sticking out that far, collars, because of the way the sleeve rotates. And then the Bulldog is 19 and about 3/4, a little more than 3/4. And of course the collar on the Bulldog is 3 inches. And the Iron Wolf is inch and about 3/4. And now for sleeve to sleeve, both bars are the same, and they're 57.5 inches between sleeve to sleeves. Now let's go out to knurling, and of course the knurling on the Iron Wolf is pretty much all across the bar or whatever. You have the center marking that allows you to line up on the back. The Texas just has a center of it, and it's about 12 inches across, and then has a 4 3/4 inch gap, and of course the powerlifting marks or whatever on there seems to be off just a hair between the two, so I'll get measurements for that. The powerlifting marks ring to ring on the Texas is 32 inches across, while the Iron Wolf is 32.5, so a little bit of difference on there. For spacing out from the end of the bar, Iron Wolf has a 1/2 inch, and the Texas has 1.25 inches between the collar and the end of the mark of the knurls. And of course there's this other marking here for the Iron Wolf that is 17 and about 3/8 or so from center to center of that marking. And then you have this here is about a 1/2 inch, while these are 1/4 inches spacing or gap or whatever, even for the Texas. Now the knurling on these are a little bit different. One being that it's zinced, and the other one just stainless steel. So the stainless, of course, isn't coated. The Iron Wolf definitely seems a little bit sharper on it. I mean, the Bulldog is still pretty sharp. Bulldog comparison would be about similar to the their deadlift bar. And I mean, it has a pretty good grip to it, or a knurl pattern too, pretty aggressive. The Iron Wolf though is more aggressive. I'd kind of consider it pretty much as aggressive as, almost as aggressive as the Oki bar that I've tried out before. Figuring that you're not pulling on it like you are a deadlift. My personal preference, I like the deep knurl of the Iron Wolf. It really sticks to the back and gives a good feel on it. This bar I got used, so it's a little bit worn on the ends here where it was put in the monolift and everything, so it wears down, but the center where it goes on your back still has quite a bit of a aggressive knurl on it. It hasn't worn. And of course the Bulldog I got new, so it's protected by UHMW on my Rogue monolift hook, so the knurling hasn't worn on it. Performance wise, you really aren't going to tell much about performance difference. Total real loadable sleeve length is about the same, even though the Bulldog's a little bit longer or whatever, but it has that thick collar versus the sleeve. And then the Iron Wolf, you have that donut, which really can't load up or whatever, so you lose a little bit with that. So loadable sleeve length is pretty much identical on that. The Bulldog will move the plates out even further, of course, because of the thick collars on it. Both are 35 millimeters, so you're probably not going to feel any whip, or so. It's going to be a very stiff bar that goes on your back. So I know a few people don't like that being that thick. I like the squat bar for that thick for the weight I'm handling, even though I'm only in the high 600s right now raw. So it's, I don't know, I just like the feel of the thick bar. It sits on my back well or whatever. And I have a little bit of shoulder issues, but this bar doesn't bring anything out, being that it's a thicker diameter. Some people have elbow or shoulder problems because of the thick diameter. I do not related to that, at least I don't think I do. Both of them have the bushings in them, pretty much bronze. The Iron Wolf claims the Sinister bronze or something like that. It's a little different color on there. And the construction of the Iron Wolf, you have kind of the other bushing in there welded or held in by some nut that's welded in place. Kind of a strange construction on it when I took it apart. I don't have it apart right now, so I can't show you. But spin-wise, the Iron Wolf has a good spin to it on the sleeve. The Bulldog is strange. It has like a catch in the spin. I don't know if I need to lube it or what, or just a manufacturing defect on the Iron Wolf, but when you spin it a little bit, you can kind of hear a catch. Nothing that is going to really affect performance of it, but it's just kind of strange and annoyance. It shows that the Texas buddy caps, they don't have that great quality control, at least not compared to the Iron Wolf. Iron Wolf, you can tell, is just a much better finished bar. I wouldn't say, well, maybe not much finished, but a definitely better finished bar, a world-class bar, where they really pay attention to detail and the fit and function and just the whole look of the bar or whatever, while Texas doesn't really. They just kind of pump out bars where their quality control isn't the best. I mean, it's good. It's up there with some of the better bars that are out, but not as well as the Iron Wolf. Of course, Iron Wolf now, I mean, new when it was in existence, is pretty much about 1,100 shipped, while this Bulldog is around 700 shipped, or actually 680, I think, or 685, somewhere around that, shipped on the Westside page or whatever. One of the cheaper 35mm squat bars, because you have these two and then the Mastodon, which I don't have, so it's in comparison. That Mastodon's around 800 or so. I don't know if that was shipped or not. Probably not. So the Iron Wolf definitely, in my opinion, is a better top quality bar. I mean, it's like one of the best. It took me a while to find it since they went out of business and no longer making. I had to do some digging and asking around trying to get one. I didn't think I'd get one, so I ended up buying the Bulldog. Was impatient, and this thing popped up used, so I snatched it up. And I guess one last thing I got to do is get the weight. Okay, weight for the Westside Bulldog squat bar. It's reading 65.7 pounds, and that's 29.8 kilograms there for a claimed weight of 65 pounds. And now the Iron Wolf squat bar. It has a claimed weight, of course, 65 pounds, and it comes in at 64.7 pounds or 29.35 kilograms. So this one's slightly under by 0.3 pounds, while the other one was over about 0.7 pounds. So accuracy, I mean, I guess the Iron Wolf's a little more accurate for weight wise. And that's about it for my review. Hope you guys find it informative. Unfortunately, they don't make the stainless steel Iron Wolf bar anymore. So if you find one used, it's about your only choice. While the Texas Bulldog over there, it's still in production, the Westside. Sometimes it's hard to find stock for them. Right now they're out of stock. There's been a few times I had to wait for stock. So that's it. Thanks for watching.